The Giants rookie wide receiver Malik Nabers is not happy following their 30-7 blowout loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After the game, he went completely unhinged on how he felt the season has gone for the New York Giants, and this is what he had to say.
Go out there first, second quarter, don't get the ball, start getting targets at the end. I mean, can't do nothing. Start getting the ball when it's 30-0. What you want me to do?
Why in the first half are they not looking at you?
I don't know. Talk to Davis about that. Talk to Davis.
Did you say something to the coaches at that time?
I mean, they know. They come up to me, ask me what plays I want. That was that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man.
What words today would you use to describe this loss?
Selfish.
How disappointed are you?
Very.
What are you most disappointed about?
I mean, it's over, man. I'm tired of going out there and losing. Like, go out there first, second quarter, don't get the ball, start getting targets at the end. I mean, can't do nothing. Start getting the ball when it's 30.
Now, you can say that Malik Nabers is being the diva, he's being a drama queen, but I don't get how you can't say that he's not speaking facts. The quarterback position, you get rid of Daniel Jones and you go to Tommy DeVito and you're still getting blown out. You're still losing games. And for as good as Malik Nabers has been this year, we haven't really heard too much of this dude ever since the first 4 weeks of the season when he was going off, having 100-yard performances, getting targeted like 15, 20 times a game. And now it's like as the season has gone on, you started to hear less and less of Malik Nabers, and this is somebody who you invested your first pick of the draft in. So he does have a right to feel frustrated with his lack of targets. And you only want to target him when the game is already out of reach. It just makes no sense. You might as well not even put the brother on the field if that's the case. And Brian Dable, it seems like he has completely lost this locker room. Because if Malik Nabers is coming out making these comments and people are asking him, well, is it the play calling? Like, what is it? And he's just smacking his gum. It's a sign of, Brian Dable is part of the problem. And he kind of already was being a little bit indirect with Brian Dable being a problem, with him saying, we made a quarterback change, we're still losing, and it's like, I'm not getting targeted until the game is already over. Well, is it the play calling? I don't know. Adapts. What does this seem like to you? It seems like Malik Nabers is fed up with Brian Dable. Of course, he's tired of losing, but everybody wants to win in today's NFL. And when you are somebody that, like Malik Nabers, has played at LSU and you didn't really lose much in college, getting to the NFL and you start losing for the first time ever, it is a feeling that's hard to get used to. And it's a feeling that no player really wants to get used to. And if Malik Nabers is going off in this fashion, then imagine how all of the other players feel. It's just the difference between him and the rest of the locker room is that guys are keeping their mouth closed. Malik Nabers is just being honest. And me personally, I love players like Malik Nabers that keep it 100. Because there are a lot of players that, they give out interviews or they go on radio shows and the radio hosts are asking them questions and they're just giving the professional answers, not really giving you any legit insight into what's going on, where we know it's BS. We know that they're not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but Malik Nabers in these comments kind of has told us that we need the change coaches. Changing quarterback isn't the problem. We need to get rid of Brian Dable as the head coach. And look, I'm somebody who has defended Brian Dable relentlessly over these last couple of years, and I still believe that firing Brian Dable would be a bad decision. But if you're losing the locker room, you've already lost before the game has even started. And even last year, Brian Dable had issues getting along with the coaches on his staff. Remember, he got cussed out by Wink Martindale when he was leaving out of the building. A lot of his coaches didn't really like him. And Brian Dable now, it seems like not only are the Giants losing due to poor coaching, but the locker room isn't completely bought into him anymore. And when you get one-sided results like what you saw today in this 30-7 beat down by the Bucs, normally it isn't because you're a bad team, because we've seen the Giants be able to have a few close games here and there. But as the season continues to progress, you just see more and more one-sided results because you have a team that is not balled in. And when you're not balled in, it's a sign that you don't believe in a head coach. Because if you have a head coach that you believe in, no matter how bad your record is, no matter how sour things tend to go throughout the year, you still play hard because you love your head coach. Year one, when the Detroit Lions were rebuilding under Dan Campbell, they were losing games, but they were fighting to the end. And the players played their absolute heart out for Dan Campbell. And you could see the emotion after the games. Like, the players, they were sad. They really wanted to win for Dan Campbell because they loved him. But after the game, you never really heard any players being indirect, taking shots at Dan Campbell, saying, I don't know about the offensive play call. I don't know why I didn't get the ball this many times. Ask Dan Campbell. Normally, you have players that say, I really don't know why I didn't get the ball that much, but, we'll figure it out. Or they'll just, make it more about the team. They more so would say, I didn't get the ball because we just didn't play that well. Malik Nabers is flat out telling you that I'm not getting the ball because Brian Daboll isn't really scheming me the ball as much as what he was at the start of the season. And two, the quarterback play still sucks. And when they got rid of Daniel Jones, or when they made the decision to bench him, many players in the Giants locker room were not on board with the decision. It kind of was one of those decisions that the coach made, and, all the rest of the players had to respect it because it's what the coach wanted. Well, after this 30-7 outcome, you got no choice but to fire Brian Daboll. And Joe Schoen, it seems like the Giants owner is going to keep him around despite the bad decision to pay Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley, let him leave for your division rivals in free agency. He should be gone too, but he hasn't done a bad job of putting talent on this team. The Giants do have Malik Nabers. They do have that really good rookie running back as well. You do have Rondell Robinson, and the defense has a few good pieces as well. But you got to get a better head coach in there. I don't know who you're going to get. Maybe you can get a Ben Johnson. Maybe the thought of being able to draft Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward could entice Ben Johnson enough to want to take this head coaching job. Because the Giants really aren't that far away from being a playoff team. You're a better quarterback and a better offensive line from being a competitive football team again. But if you can find the right head coach, it can speed that process up a lot faster. But if you continue to roll with Brian Daboll, I think you further increase the chance of alienating the rest of this locker room. Because if Malik Nabers is coming out here and making these kinds of comments, I kind of feel like this was being indirect towards Brian Daboll. Like, the quarterback wasn't the problem. The main issue is the dude who can't get me the football. That's what this interview screams to me. But y'all let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about Malik Nabers' unhinged post-game interview.